Good.
I noticed last week. I wanted to ask you about it,
Sure.
but I didn't think it was appropriate to ask you about the NBA.
Okay.
And then I see you're on stage 20 minutes later.
Oh, yeah.
You leave the locker room 20
Yeah.
minutes later, getting your second job on, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. You want to elaborate on that? You want to talk about it?
Oh, on that whole
on just the
post game?
Well, just the NBA in general. Kind of the mess has been, not the mess, the changes.
I think what people are calling the current state of the NBA is player empowerment. So a lot of players are taking control of their own futures. They're not waiting to be traded. They're not riding it out. They want to win now. And a big example of this is like Anthony Davis. Like he sort of forced his way out of a situation, which I know a little bit about, like just because he was chasing championships. Players have different wants and needs. You look at Jimmy Butler and that type of stuff. You look at Kawhi Leonard. But I think it's really good because for the first time in the NBA in 6-7 years, any team can win a championship. You know, the Warriors, they are down, but they're still talented. You have the Brooklyn Nets that when they get healthy, they could be great. You have the Clippers who might, become favorites when you also have an LA team in the same city with Anthony Davis on it that not too long ago was favorites. So, you have the Rockets that are still, messing around. It's like there's so many teams, there's so much competition. I think that's going to be so exciting because anybody can win.
Contrast that to your league. And do you see the player empowerment taking over your league in that sense?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the funny thing is when the men do it, people say, oh, he wants to win or he needs this for his life. When the women do it, we're like, oh, you guys should be grateful to, have a certain, job or profession or like you should, it's pretty much all about being thankful for being in the league, but we're not trying to just be thankful. We're trying to push ourselves and push the boundaries of what we want and what we like. And myself, I went through it in a tough off season, and then Liz Cambage went through it in a tough off season. This has happened. There are players that have chosen or pushed to go home. Like we all have different wants and needs. It's just sort of like players realize that we also do have power, and just because we tend to flex it doesn't mean we're being disrespectful to people. It's that we're trying to put ourselves in the best position possible because guess what? Teams have been doing that for years. Right. Point in case, Isaiah Thomas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good point. Good point. So you're clearly a astute fan of basketball.
Yeah.
Right. I love your passion. I love your energy. I love what you bring to the team.
Thank you.
Can you talk to me about the travel? There's been some complaints from some other fellow teams about the travel, the rigorous travel that you guys have to endure and lax accommodations, I guess you would say. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, so like the issues we've had with travel and all those other types of things have come under this bucket of like player experience. And being on the WNBPA, we really take note of all these situations because as a professional league, 144 of the best women that play basketball in the world in this league, we want our league to represent that high standard. So when issues do happen, we need to be creative and we need to, I understand that the business is different than what our comparison is, the NBA, but at the same time, it's 2019, based on our current CBA, which we opted out of, we all are mandated to fly commercial, but nowadays there's so many different partners that we can create, whether it's airline partners or even private jet partners or even just having clauses where if there is a case that is actually strenuous, where like, for instance, a flight is delayed, you have to take a bus, maybe we can actually find a way to be creative and create a solution so players don't feel disadvantaged walking into a game. They should always feel well and prepared so that we can keep putting out the best product, which it is the best product, right? So, I think these are all things we're working towards, but at the same time, it's sort of like we have the opportunity now to really create change and to also highlight some of the ways we need to grow. And I think moving forward, we're gonna make sure that these situations don't happen. At least us as the players are trying to ensure that this doesn't happen. It's on the front office to figure out, and not the front office, but the league to meet us there.